She didn't lose interest. You changed. Hello, I'm J. El Camino. Why El Camino? Because it's the only Spanish I know. Today, we're going to talk about something that hits a lot of guys right in the gut because they've lived it. You meet a woman, things are going very well, she's engaged, she's responsive, there's chemistry, there's momentum, and it feels like something real might actually be building. And then something changes. She pulls back, she feels different, the energy drops, the vibe just isn't the same. And the first thing most guys think is, oh, she lost interest. But here's the truth most men don't want to hear. She didn't lose interest. You changed. Now, before you get defensive, let's slow it down and really take a look at it. Because this isn't about blame. It's about understanding the dynamic. And when you first meet a woman, naturally you're at your best. You're relaxed, you're playful. You're not attached to the outcome, you're just present. You're not trying to impress her. You're not trying to win her over, you're just being yourself. And ironically, that's exactly what creates attraction in the first place. There's a certain ease to you, a certain lack of neediness, a certain confidence that comes from not caring too much about what happens next. Now think about this in terms of social dynamics. When you're not outcome dependent, you come across as higher value because you're not seeking approval. You're not chasing validation. You're just existing in your own frame. But then something happens. You start to like her. And the moment you start to like her, instead of staying the same guy she was attracted to, you begin to shift. Subtle at first, but it's there. You're texting a little more. You start thinking about what to say. You start analyzing her responses. You start trying to make sure you don't mess it up. And that's where the problem begins. Because attraction isn't built through effort. It's built through consistency of behavior. Now, women fall in love with who you are, not what you're trying to become. And when you start trying so hard, when you start adjusting, you start changing your behavior in response to your feelings. We've all done it, I've done it, but it's a mistake. Now here's the important part. She may not even be able to explain it, her lessening interest. She won't sit there and logically break down what changed. She just feels the energy's different, the vibe's off, something isn't the same. And she's right, something did change. You did. Let's talk about what actually changes, because this is where most guys lose the plot. First, you become available. In the beginning, you had your own life, your own schedule, your own priorities, your own focus. You weren't sitting around waiting for her to text you back because you weren't attached yet. But now, suddenly you are. You're always responding quickly. You're always available. You're always there. Yes, mommy. And what happens when you become constantly available? It becomes less valuable. Not because she's trying to devalue you. That's just how human psychology works. Second, you start seeking validation at the beginning. You didn't care what she thought. You're expressing yourself freely, saying what you wanted, being who you were. But now that you care, now that you start over-explaining, you start trying to impress her. You start looking for reassurance in her responses. Now, most men don't lose women because of what they say. They lose them because of the subtext behind what they say. Neediness, insecurity, approval seeking, it leaks through. Now, you might think you're just being nice or attentive or thoughtful and rationalize it in your head, but underneath that, there's a shift in energy, and women pick it up on it much faster than most men realize. Third, you start over-communicating. You text more, you call more, you try to stay connected all the time. But what you're actually doing is removing the very thing that made the interaction exciting in the first place. You remove mystery, you remove anticipation, you remove space. And space is where attraction breathes. So Doc Love actually emphasized this for decades. Interest level grows in space, not in constant contact. Where there's space, she wonders about you, she thinks about you, she anticipates seeing you again. But when you cram every gap with messages. You eliminate that space and that process. You turn yourself into something predictable, something constant, something always there. And while that might sound good in theory or in other contexts, it's killing the dynamic and it's killing attraction. Now let's all be clear about something. She didn't wake up one day and decide to lose interest. Her interest responded to changes in your behavior, your energy, your consistency. So attraction is not static. It doesn't stay the same forever. It's responsive. So when you changed, her attraction adjusted. And that's why it feels so confusing, because in your mind, you are trying harder. You're being more attentive. You're showing more interest. And you think, isn't that what I'm supposed to do? No, not in the early stages especially, because early attraction is fragile. It's based on emotion, curiosity, a certain level of uncertainty. And when you remove that uncertainty, you remove the excitement. So this is where guys get stuck. They think if they just do more, say more, give more, she'll like them more. But attraction doesn't work like that. Sometimes doing more creates less. So what you should do instead, you stay the same guy she met. You don't increase effort. You don't increase communication. You don't increase pressure. You maintain your pace, your life, and your energy, because that's what she responded to in the first place. This is maintaining your frame, not reacting, not chasing, not adjusting yourself based on her behavior, but staying grounded in who you are. Now here's the hard truth. Once you've already changed and she's already pulled back, you can no longer talk your way out of it if you ever could. You can't explain it. You can't fix it with words. You can't convince her, because the issue is not logical, it's emotional. And emotion responds to behavior, not words, not explanation. So the only real move you can make at this point is to reset your behavior. It shouldn't be sudden. It shouldn't be very brutal. You're going to pull back gradually. You want to still stay friendly. You don't want to act upset and butthurt in any way. Okay, you want to stay friendly, but there's just slightly less of you. You refocus on your own life. You stop over-investing and you give space. And if her interest is still there, she'll come back around towards you. And if she doesn't, that tells you everything you need to know. Because here's the final piece that most men miss. Attraction is not built through pursuit. It's really built through presence, consistency, and most of all, space. Especially with a woman, it's the space between interactions where her attraction is built. With a man, it's more about the interactions themselves. Space gives her a chance to think about you, to wonder. However, it is important that the space you give her seems organic and not a tactic. If she detects, even in the slightest, that's a tactic, she will see it as manipulation and it will backfire. Also, keep in mind that women are masters at understanding interactions between men and women and can sense things way faster and better than us. We are truly ding-dongs compared to women with relationship IQ. They can see through almost everything and can manipulate us far more than the other way around if you allow it. So pulling back has to be seen not as a reaction to her pulling back, not as a punishment. It has to be believable as something organic, like you're just getting more focused with your work or with projects. So if you don't combine that with a butthurt attitude or in any way like trying to make her feel bad, then it's much more convincing. Now, once you understand this, everything changes. You stop chasing, you stop overthinking, you stop trying to win her over through thought, effort, and communication, because you realize that the guy she was attracted to in the beginning was the guy who wasn't trying so hard. She didn't lose interest, you changed. And the moment you understand that, you gain control over the situation, because now you know what created the attraction and what disrupted it. And more importantly, you know how to avoid making that mistake again. So if you've been through this, and most guys have, now you know actually what happened. And once you see it clearly, you don't repeat it. So if you got any value over this video or from this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much.